Hello YouTube, Max One Chase One again. This segment that I'm going to do today is why is your bike running sluggish and you think it's a carburetor problem. I'm going to give you the reason why I had to take my carburetors out and do a check on that to find out why were they making the bike run so sluggish. Alright, and then also too, I will talk a little bit about how to take the carburetors out and how easy it is to remove the carburetors. Alright, stand by. Okay YouTube, let's go ahead and get started on why my bike was, the chicken wing was running a little bit sluggish and it was coming from the carburetor. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit real quick on how easy it is to remove the carburetors from a 1984 to 1987 Honda Goldwing. It's not that hard to remove, it just takes a little bit of tedious time. Even though I have mine auto remove, I'm just going to briefly hit it and you'll see some of the items I'm talking about. First of all, take off the false tank. You can take off the side covers issue here and the same thing on the left side. Once you take this out, take out the toolbox that's here, and then you should be able to see the air cleaner. Should be able to see the air cleaner and take that out. You can see that into the tub. Take out the screw and the screws to hold the air filter in. Oh yeah, I forgot to add this. Remove the fuse box, but that's a simple thing. That's not a big issue. Because you can see you're trying to get down in there. Once you get down in there, then you can wind up and take out the bowl. Or either the tub. Sometimes we call it the tub. It's 4 screws. Take the tub out, and then you've got the flat surface where you can kind of see the internal aluminum parts where the carburetor is. Alright, once you get that done, cover to open it up so nothing gets down into the tub. Make sure you come back over here, and the only thing that's really holding this carburetor in is 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here, and 2 on the other side for the rear left, and the 2 over there for the left front. You take these out, carburetor is almost about ready to move. Then you pop up these little air inlet valves, or whatever the word you want to call them. They come up, they just pop right on up, got a little rubber gasket on it. Do them on the other side just the same. And then after that, take your gas line loose here. The gas line loose here that goes right into the main line that is a crossover tube that goes to the 2 carburetors on this side and the 2 carburetor passover lines that go to the other side. So it's just one line that goes up and it's a tube that goes down it just like that to feed all 4 carburetors. Alright, just take it loose from here and everything else will go along with the carburetor. Alright, let's go to the other side and I'll take a look at stuff on the other side. When you come over here to this side, same thing, you just got this PVC hose that comes off from right here. You got the throttle cable that you don't have to worry about this until you get the carburetors come all the way out to about here and you get easy access to it. You got the, I'm looking for the choke. Here we go. Looking for the choke that's right here. You can wait till you get the carburetors all the way out to here to deal with that. And then after that, all the carburetors come out to the left side. And the only problem that's going to give you a little bit of trouble is these wires right here. And you have to kind of either spray some type of oil on them or something so that the bottom tub can slide through it on the plastic. And you just have to move some of this hosing like this out of the way so that it can slide when the carburetors come here. I did it by myself, but you can have someone else to say, I'm going to pull on this side, you push on that side and just wiggle it, and the carburetor comes all out with all the hoses and everything, just to explain it as one assembly piece. Alright, I took away the gas line from the petcock, but I didn't had to do it. I just did it anyway. So again, like I say, I took the carburetors out, and I'm going to show you the reason why I took the carburetors out, to check them. Because I thought something had crawled up in there, and I'm going to show you what really crawled up in there. Stand by. Now, this is the reason why I had to take my carburetors out and do a check on the bowls and all that stuff. Is because this reservoir, which is positioned, I'm sure you guys that's got Goldwings, 84 Goldwings, you know exactly where it's at. It's right here. All right. And if you're knowing about it, if you notice it, where is it? Right up above the bowl, or the plate on top of the bowls for the carburetor. All right, or the tub for the carburetor. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna use this right here, just similar to show you what the problem was. The bike heats up, cools down, and this reservoir here is 38 years old. And you know, if heat, plastic breaks down, they come brittle. I'm here in Virginia. It gets a little cold here, but I keep antifreeze and all that stuff. I usually start them up about once a week, you know, during the wintertime. But what happened was this reservoir got a hairline crack right here, right there. And what that did is that as the motorcycle was sitting here idling, and it, you know, got a little warm. I didn't put a fan in the front to kind of keep the engine kind of cool. And I heard the fan cut on a couple of times, and I started hearing a little bit of rumble in here. So I knew it started pumping up radiator fluid up through the top and discharging it. But what it was, antifreeze was coming out of here, draining down and going right on down on top of the tub area right here where the carburetors are. And what it was, I'm going to show you where the antifreeze went, and I had to correct that problem on what was making them run a little sluggish. Stand by again. Now this is the plate, or it's a plastic plate that goes on top of the tub where the carburetors are. In other words, the carburetors on that side, this side, here, and over here. And if the air will go in, and then it'll draw to whatever carburetor is sucking air, and from this area here as it goes through the air filter. Now notice there's a little rubber gasket that goes all the way around here to help seal the upper portion of the tub for the carburetors. But if you have a small hole, that means that air is not going through the filter to go in here, it's going through that small hole. I'm gonna flip this over. And since this was on the right side, and guess what's on the right side? Yes, that coolant reservoir was on the right side. And what it did, it dripped down onto here, drained right on over here, went right inside that hole. Look at the size of that hole right there. Yes, they do have a hole here because, again, the bike is 38 years old, and I'm probably not the only owner has had it. I've had this bike for about like 10 years, been running great for the whole 10 years. So what was happening, antifreeze was getting down in here. Notice it wasn't going by the air filter. It was going directly into the cylinder, right to that number 3 cylinder on this right side. And then it was sharing some of it with the number 1 cylinder on this side. So it would run good at a high speed because the radiator fluid would probably just blowing off. But if I stopped and it dripped in there a little bit, it wouldn't hardly want to idle at all. So the antifreeze was overpowering the gasoline that was going through the carburetors and going through the whole engine system. Alright, so same thing, if you have any holes on here, make sure that you seal them all up. Now notice, if you take this off, notice it says here on the front, it says front. That's facing the front of the bicycle here. Alright, or the motorcycle, I'm sorry. And this is facing the rear. Alright, now let's go to the next one, which is the tub. I'm going to place this. This is the toolbox, I'm sorry. The toolbox, I'm going to place that right on top of that. And also too, again, you can kind of see that I had a hole here. And let's take a look at that hole I had there. And it was another hole here. So again, if air was going into there, water most likely was sucking into that hole on the bottom, coming up to the air filter and going in. But I doubt that, because like I said, the same thing, it probably wasn't that much that could suck in the air, but it was on this upper front side. And I'm going to tell you how you can tell the difference on this piece. Notice that one says front, and this one says, come on focus, rear. You might can see it right there. See, it says rear. So again, you can kind of see that it did have a hole there. And then I'd use what I use to seal it is I use that HVAC type tape that's not all aluminum tape, but it's got a rubber backing on it. It's got a rubber backing on it, just like that. And what I did, I just cut off all of that excess area that was open and only let the screw go through. And that screw would wind up and seal up to here. So that will go on top just like that. And if you look at it and see it, you can't see any gap in between there. So if you, excuse me, just finished eating. But then again, if you do have one of these tubs, make sure you notice where the rear is and notice where the front is. Alright, and then the air filter, it doesn't make no determination on which side the air filter, which direction it goes in, but you try to look at the shape. Try to look at the shape of where your air filter has been sitting before, and you try to match it up and put it back in that same way. But stand corrected. There's your PVC entrance hole right here. So again, that faces that way, and this one is facing the rear. I'm just kind of wondering, is that the reason why that plug is there? Yes, maybe that's what it's for. So it's either side you want to use it. But mine is just like this, so that's how it'll go. Alright. So now, since I've showed you what was the cause of it, and I've taken the carburetors out, and they're down in my shed, down in the behind my house, in the back, and I've corrected the problem by taking some of that Flex Seal spray, and again, it was just a hairline fracture. I mean, a hairline fracture crack, and what I did, I just sprayed it good and wet, and what I did, I put a washer to it, and I sprayed the washer and stuck it to it, and put another washer on top of it, sprayed the backside of that washer and stuck it to it. So now I'm ready to put this back on and see if it'll seal it up. Now it did the first time I did this, it worked great for 7 years. So I'm gonna see how long this will work good for, maybe another 7 years. Again, you saw how I fixed my tub area. Now I don't have to worry about water getting into there, and shouldn't have no problem with the carburetors running like they should. Again, YouTube, I hope this helped. I know I gave you a brief description on how to take the carburetors out, but believe me, you take those 4 screws out that's going to the intakes from each carburetor. Believe me, after that, that's the only thing that's holding. You just have to look to find out what's in the way and just shake it and wiggle the carburetors out. I will wind up and say this one thing. Before I took the carburetors out, I lifted them up on one side, and these intakes, I wiggled them and took them off, and that made it much more easier for them to slide out and across to the left side. Again, Goldwing riders, I hope this helped. If you like the segment, you want to add comments to it, to add to it, feel free to do so. Again, I'm not making any money off of this, but I do like the old Goldwings and how they are somewhat hard to work on, but they're good tank running machines. And share with your other Goldwing riders, people that can familiarize this with the other Goldwings. Doesn't make no difference what the model is. It's an Interstate, Standard, or Aspicate. They pretty much all the same in that 1984 to 87 series. Again, YouTube, thanks for watching. Leave me a comment.